So not a lot of people know this about me, but the very first anime that I've ever watched was Pokemon, technically. However, the show that got me into anime was actually Sword Art Online. The premise of a VR experience where people actually get to join these giant MMORPG games sounded so fun for 12-year-old me. The anime itself is also pretty fun for the first 12 episodes and okay for the rest, but hearing that a similar video game anime was coming out got my still 12-year-old brain very excited to watch. And that anime is Shangri-La Frontier. Rakuro Hizutomi is in his second year of high school, and he's obsessed with only one thing: playing the worst VR games ever and completing them. So with the skills to beat glitchy and very broken games, he tries a new god tier game named Shangri-La Frontier. And like the shitty games he likes playing, he's planning on completing the entire game with minimum effort. However, can he get past all of the horrendous mobs and find all of the secrets to this new god tier game? Now, from the poster alone, you could probably look at the MC's blue bird mask and think to yourself, wow, this is going to be so dumb and stupid. And you'll be right to assume that, cause I thought the same thing. It looks so goofy and the premise itself doesn't seem like much until you actually watch it, and you see it is goofy and funny, but the series takes itself pretty seriously, which makes it even funnier. Also, just going to point out that this is a series made for people who plays video games or at least knows the terminology of video games. In the first episode, you're going to be pretty lost if you don't know what no clipping is or NPC. It's made for gamers like me, which puts itself in a really weird situation, unlike Sword Art Online, which explains the terminology in their dialogue. This series would have a little text bubble that you'll have to pause to see to actually get to know what the hell they're talking about. But don't get me wrong, even if you don't understand the video game references, you can still enjoy this series. First of all, the animation is amazing. From the character designs, the settings, the mobs, and even the opening and ending are all beautifully animated by Studio C2C. I was honestly blown away by the animation quality in the first episode. It wasn't super flashy, but you can see the amount of details put in every scene. Usually most series would keep the animation at a good quality and save up for the fight scenes to boost up the quality. But here, scenes of characters talking and fighting are all in the same highest quality. Even if you don't like the video game references, it doesn't take away from the fantasy world setting that is Shangri-La Frontier. Every area, whether it's a city, forest, or swamp, are all different and unique. Even the monsters are all pretty cool looking and all have unique features and abilities. The way the NPCs and monsters act don't even feel like a video game. So again, if you're really not into the whole video game theme, then you can still enjoy the fantasy action adventure moments. And speaking of action, the fight scenes in this series are pretty good. Some of them are fast-paced sword fights with goblins or killer bunnies, and then you have the major boss battles that usually take up half the episode. They're all animated really nice, and the only complaint that I have is that the main character, Sanraku, doesn't seem like he's really learning or gaining anything from these fights. The fight with the snake guarding the bridge and obviously the unique monster Likagon both seemed important, and it moves freely with the story. But the mud digger doesn't feel important at all. It just feels like filler. The story only really follows one character, and that's Sanraku, aka Hizutomi. He's followed by a rabbit NPC named Imu, and everyone else is pretty much useless. The only character you really care about so far is the main character, which is obvious. I mean, you want to put a heavy focus on the MC in the beginning before you start adding in a bunch of side characters, but the side characters that are shown either never show up again or just pretty unimportant so far, which leads to one of my biggest complaints is the direction of where the series is going. So far, we only know that Sanraku wants to beat the game and find all of the secrets before everyone else. It's a good goal, but there isn't a direct way to beat the game, or at least it hasn't been revealed to us yet. We're just going with the flow, and now he's trying to get stronger to beat Rikagun. It's only 5 episodes in though, so we can't really say much about it just yet. But if the series is going to be just him grinding, then like it is in video games, is gonna probably start getting pretty boring. Overall though, the video game premise for series like Sword Art Online, Overlord does interest me, and I believe that Shangri-La Frontier is becoming one of my favorites in that subgenre. The world of Shangri-La Frontier is really creative and looks magnificent. None of the areas seem copy and pasted, and it's elevated by the incredible animation by Studio C2C. I never expected this anime to look this breathtaking. Definitely one of the best animated series to have come out of fall. While the side characters are non-existent so far, the MC is full of charisma and funny, which makes up for the lack of side characters, again, so far. While this is a video game anime, you don't really need to like video games to find enjoyment in the series. I can still highly recommend this series to anyone that likes fantasy action comedy series with god tier animation. So for the 5 episodes that are currently out, I'll have to give this series a good 8.5 out of 10. So what are your guys' thoughts on Shangri-La Frontier? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.